Frenchy. I'm watching New Jersey and the Columbus Blue Jacket. This is 1975, where the fight after fight, Dylan back in the game. And we have Voronkov with Noah Zinn right there. So, wow, what a great game between both teams. A lot of action in it. Sure, not many games, but what is going on? It's a lot of action left and right. Pittsburgh 2 and Philadelphia 1. Crosby, guys, 2 goals again. Unbelievable. Sidney Crosby. It's crazy. And I'm going to talk about the New Jersey Columbus a bit later. But welcome for another NHL Week report on the Monday night, directly from Tehran on Amazing Great, December 1st, 2025. 24 days before Christmas knocked the door. And we're going to wait. And Pittsburgh take the lead 3-1, goal rust. And that's happening right now. Thanks for being with us. What happening tonight, guys? It's easy. No panic. No panic in Montreal. I'm going to tell you why we have no panic in Montreal. And I cannot do it alone tonight because we have someone very special. Now we have another fight right there. It's Qatar for the New Jersey versus Smith, I believe. Or, not sure who's one. Yeah, Smith. Smith and Qatar fight each other right now behind the net. And we'll see what's happening there. Wow. This is 4th or the 5th fight of the night between both teams. Imagine Mathieu Olivier is not in the game tonight for the Columbus Blue Jacket. And keep consistent fighting between guys. If you have ESPN Plus, you have to be there. And they have some kind of WWE between Qatar and Smith. But look, we have the insider of the Hockey Nation back in the house directly from New Jersey. I can't wait to talk to him because we have a lot of things to talk because the last time we saw him, it was like 1 month ago, and many things happening around the NHL. So he's back at home. Directly for his chair is Mr. Jim Beringer is in the house tonight.
What is up, everybody? Back and better than ever on the Hockey Nation. Good to be here, Coach. Yeah, a lot of 1970s hockey going on right now in Devils and Columbus. I think this is like 5 fights now in the second period. It's out of control. Love to see it though. Good to see Brendan Dillon back. He took a bad bounce early in there in that fight with Voronkov. I think he took an uppercut and then hit himself down on the ice. But good to see him back. Yep. But yeah, Nason fighting. Paul Cotter and the former Devil Brendan Smith fighting. Just out of control right now. I love to see it.
And the score is 2-2.
Yeah, and the Devils had a goal taken off the board. Don't forget it. It could have been 3-1 if no goaltender interference.
Yeah, exactly about that. And it's an exciting game, by the way. This is a 2 team in the same division, so this is going to be fun to watch. And then, like I said, Olivier is not there tonight, so we know Mathieu Olivier, what he brings on the table for the Columbus Blue Jacket. But Blue Jacket, I'm going to talk about them the next couple of minutes. I have some things called What I Learned, and I'm going to share it with you because I have a take advantage opportunity to have you aboard, Jim. So hopefully, also, before we start, I always said I like to ask you always a couple of questions. But what are you been in the last 4 weeks? And what are you working on? Are you a project? What's going on with you? Last night was in November, early in November.
Yeah, no, just been busy. Just took a lot of things just going on. Just working around the house. Had a lot of leaf pickup going on, so all the leaves fell down. Just taking it, just one day at a time. I had some TV appearances, did a couple spots on TSN in Montreal. Just busy writing some things, and just been at a lot of games. The Devils were home a lot during November, so got to go to a bunch of games. Obviously, they're not tonight. Just too much going on. So I just wanted to be here for you guys tonight. I know you asked me last night. So I wanted to be there. I wanted to come on. It's been a while. I missed this audience, missed being on the Hockey Nation. And I know there was a lot of baseball going on in October with the Blue Jays. So I know you were doing a lot of play-by-play with the
Yeah.
Blue Jays game. So I know we missed a lot of time, but it's good to be back here. Just good to talk some hockey, and a lot of things have happened. Montreal, we talked about it over the summer. How many times there was a debate in the chat whether or not to keep Mike Matheson, and look who stays.
No, you're right about that. Since we talked last time, you're right. Baseball at the beginning of November, where the Blue Jays lost the World Series. But look, you have a lot of things going on. November is over. Holidays, Thanksgiving is over. And December, most of the team have a really busy schedule until Christmas. Play 12, 13 game. We have 65 games this week in NHL. That's crazy if you think about that. So,
Yeah.
look, we're going to take advantage of you. So I will ask all the people in the chat, guys. We have Jim tonight. Any question you need to ask Jim, I'm going to bring your question live. That's what we do with Jim most of the time. Of course, I have a lot of other subjects, Montreal Canadiens, NHL. I need to ask a couple of questions.
And we never get to it. And we never get to it.
No,
because the guys in the chat,
I never go there.
It is what it is. In the chat, I love it, and I love the guys in the chat. Everybody in the chat, great questions too. So love it.
That's you're right about that. So Pittsburgh 3, Philadelphia 1 at this moment. Crosby done the Benelli box, by the way. Listen, we'll go to welcome everybody. I'm going to go very quickly. RJPS in the house. Stand the man. Welcome back. In our top, knock the door. Billy, Mr. Guy, Ovidio. All of you guys, thanks so much. Peter August, knock the door. Peter, they are, but no panic with that part for sure. Eminem, welcome back. And then we have N26, knock the door also. Coach, you out with a dog at Ducks. We have everything right now. It's crazy. And after Jim, how concerned are you with the apps without Jack Hughes and how New Jersey has not really stepped up and during his time he's not with the team?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's a fair question. I mean, look, I am concerned because the Devils have shown, or at least the times he's been out, that they've been a one-man team, and they have speed on this team besides Jack Hughes to break through the neutral zone. And Sheldon Keefe talked about that Saturday. Again, fall flat against the Flyers. It's the second week in a row. Too many breakdowns in the defensive zone, and then look what happens. They lose the game tonight against Columbus. They came up better, firing pucks at Merzlikins, dominating the play offensively, using their speed through the neutral zone. You got Heister, you got Bratt, Myers finally skating. I know he's not the fastest, the fleetest of foot, but he's a big guy. He can use his skating ability, uses his physical presence out there. They have the talent to survive a Jack Hughes injury this early into the season. They do. And I think they just need guys to step up a little bit more than they are. Again, you're playing with young defensemen as your top pair, Nemec and Luke Hughes. No, I think the biggest concern for me is the Brett Pesce injury because you don't have a stability on the back end. Pesce brought so much for the Devils, and to me, that's the biggest loss.
Yeah, you're right about that. I agree with you. One thing I was saying, I know we talk about Jack Hughes, but I watched the Devils many games. One player I'm impressed this year is Simon Nemec. Nemec stepped up his game. You know what's happening with him the last couple of years. He was trying to go up and down. It was consistency, and Devil also does not have enough spot for him. And you know the transfer the Pesce, and then you got the Kovacevic with that the return to Hamilton. He found a way to get there, and he really impressive this season so far. We have to take some kind of decision at some point with all the defensemen they have. Sean Casey still in the team, and then but what do you feel about Simon Nemec?
I loved his play. Look, I think he's really stepped up. Sheldon Keefe said, he's like, well, he has to because everybody's out of the lineup, right? And look, I think he was coming along with Dylan. He's been playing well, but his offensive ability is coming up, right? That's what he's doing. He's moving the puck better. He's using his speed. Again, transition game, similar to again, not on the level of Matthew Schaefer, but the Devils can transition out of the defensive zone with the two guys that they have in Luke Hughes and Simon Nemec. I like the way Nemec is playing. Look, no matter what they do, and I see a lot of questions about, and we'll get into it. To me, it's going to be a tough decision with New Jersey because you take him second overall behind Slavkovsky in 2022. You see him as a future piece. Maybe you move somebody else like a Silyev or a Casey, somebody like that, because right now, to me, you can ill afford to move Simone Nemec the way he's playing.
You're right about that. That's come to the question also from N26, the rumor between Quinn Hughes and Nemec and Jesper Pratt. A little bit surprised about this, but how you feel about that rumor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a rumor. I think David Amber was on Sportsnet in Toronto. He's talking about, what it would take to get Quinn Hughes out of, it would start with Nemec and maybe, Jesper Bratt. But the problem is Bratt has a full no move clause, so he's not going to Vancouver. It would have to be like a Dawson Mercer and Nemec type deal that gets him out of Vancouver, and it may be a little bit more. Could be a first round pick, could be another prospect, throwing a Silyev, something like that. I just don't know if New Jersey's willing to give up those type of assets right now, knowing he's not eligible to sign an extension till July 1st. Does he even want to go to New Jersey? We all heard what Jim Rutherford said, but maybe he wants to go someplace else. Does that benefit Luke Hughes? And if he does want to play with his brothers, why shouldn't the Devils just wait it out and get him for free?
Yeah, you're right about that. I just feel like they have already a couple of great defensemen playing the same level like Quinn Hughes, like the same type of the defenseman. Now, I know Quinn Hughes is better, but to give Nemec and also Jesper Pratt, I'm not sure it's the right things, in my opinion. He will request at least over $10-12 million. And I think that we should go more with or forward everything. But we have to see what's happening for that. This is something we have to think about what happened. Jim, Billy ask you, Jim, would you trade any of the Montreal Canadiens core player to get a second center? If so, who?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's the biggest. I think that's the big thing right now is like what second line center is available. Well, Ryan O'Reilly, Braden Shen, Nazem Kadri. But Kadri's not going to go anywhere until he decides he wants to go anywhere. And I wouldn't give up the asking price for what Ryan O'Reilly's going for right now, top prospect and a first round pick. I'm just not sure I would do it. I mean, if I had to go somebody on the core, I don't know if I'm giving up a Slavkovsky or well, I'm definitely not giving up Suzuki or Caulfield or any guys like that. I might have to look at on the back end maybe as much as it, you look at a Struble, you look at, again, I'm not saying this is happening, but I don't think you're going to give up Caden Gooley, but you may have to dip into your prospect like a David Reinbach or somebody like that to say, all right, if we're going to go get a second line center, we have the assets to do it now. That's something we're going to have to look at. I just don't think they're going to move a core piece to get an aging player like that. I really don't.
I agree with you about that. I think we have to a little bit more wait, a little bit longer, see what's going on, open up more. It's a little bit the problem for all the team right now. They are looking for someone, a forward, whatever they are. We have so many injuries in the NHL. That said, that many is on the market to make a trade. At least you pay a lot. So I think Montreal would go in turn for right now, and they will wait a little bit longer. I don't see anything big measure, or maybe add a secondary center. Like a Sutter or Eric Ola or something like that. That's not they are targeting. And the first option, the question was really a second center. Right now, the market is too low to get one and too high because too many players, too many teams are running after that. We have a question for Peter August. Peter asking you, Jim, what do you think about Sheldon Keefe? Is he the right type of the coach for the New Jersey Devils? Good question.
I like Sheldon Keefe. I've always liked him. I thought he got a raw deal in Toronto, I'll be honest. Like, the team played well for him, and he's a good defensive coach. He's got the team playing the right way. It's unfortunate his first 2 years in New Jersey, Jack Hughes has been out of the lineup for most of each of the 2 seasons. He's a good coach. He's gotten them to the playoffs. He has account like a lot of people didn't realize this, and I don't think I realized this. How accountable he's keeping these players inside the room. Like he's not afraid to call out his players. He's not afraid to stop practices when guys aren't doing things the right way. He's not afraid to bench guys when they're not playing up to their potential. Like he's a really good coach for this team. I've always been a fan of Sheldon Keefe, and again, I'm glad he got hired in New Jersey. There were rumblings. It was him. It was Jay Woodcroft. Craig Berube was there as well. And then I got a text right before it happened in that spring, and somebody's like Monday night. They're like, "Don't be ready to say Sheldon Keefe is gonna come to New Jersey that Wednesday. There's a deal in place, but they're just ironing out details." And here it is. And I've talked to him a bunch of times. He's such a good, down to earth guy. He's feisty, and don't ask him dumb questions because he doesn't like it.
Oh yeah.
Why did somebody have to put the Giants score in the chat? I mean, it's already. I mean, I already know they suck, but I knew they were going to lose this game.
Yeah, surprisingly, guys, the Buffalo Sabres lead 3-0 against the Jets. Buffalo are a funny team. Like, they can score 9 goals, and then they could go 6, and then they disappear for a couple of games after that. It's like up and down on that one. The Ducks take the lead 2-1 against the Blues after first period. Pavel Metukov scored a goal, second of the year. Kiru, and we have McDavid for the with an assist of Seneke Anaheim. Last against Chicago, 5-3, tried to bounce back. The St. Louis looking good. The last 10 games, 4-2-4. 2-2 Devil Blue Jacket, and the Pittsburgh 3 and the Flyers 1. That's what we got around the NHL tonight. A little bit later tonight, the Mammoth play again. Macklin, Celebrini, and the San Jose Sharks. 3 minutes to go remaining at this game. Let's say we got other things here. Welcome, Randy. Thanks so much. When the lead down, Kiev, he made the most hilarious adios video. He was at home with the lake in the background. It was so unfazed but polite at the same time. Ron, welcome back. Thanks to be with us. Mr. Wolf is in the house. And let's see what we got. I'll go to jumping on the NHL news until we get new news. If you have any questions, just continue to ask questions to Jim. We're going to get there. I'm going to give you a bit more what's going on around the injuries around the NHL. I'm going to ask Jim after that, the impact. Adam Fox for the New York Rangers is going to be out for many months. Cooley is out with the Utah, Nittany. This is another Mammoth player. So Boston is out with Pasternak, is out, but is a day-to-day for David Pasternak. We have also the Blues today, Snuggerud and 6-week Toropchenko burn legs. Some players in NHL this year got burned. He's not the only one. And then you have, of course, Jack Hughes at the dinner. Finally, injury. And now I'm last stalled for 3 weeks. And yesterday, Maracek was out during the game against the Chicago Blackhawks. And Detroit Appleton is out. Minnesota Urab is out for tomorrow night. You have multiple injuries. Do you have any idea what's coming from and what you feel about that for injuries?
Yeah, I think it's just a condensed schedule. I think we see it every Olympic year when the NHL involved, that the schedule is just so compact that they're not practicing, B, they have a lot of nights off, but like this year especially, everybody just wants to make a roster spot for the Olympics, for Team USA. And you know what? I'll say this. I think the Fox injury hurts the Rangers because he was having a really good season for the Rangers, and I think he's the straw that stirs the drink on that D. Him and Gavrikov really good together, and for all the Adam Fox haters out there, and it's not in this chat, but for everybody on social media that like to follow narratives and Bill Guerin, Adam Fox is still a really good defenseman in the National Hockey League. I would have him on my team any day of the week. If you look at some of the other injuries, I mean, that's unfortunate for Snuggerud. I mean, all these guys off the ice injuries with Luosterainen, with Hughes, with Torbachenko. Guys, what are we doing? Like, especially the two guys that got burned themselves. Like, hire somebody. Like, seriously, like you can have a cook do this for you. Like, not a problem. I think the biggest one from the two big ones, the other ones are for me are Destall and Mrazek, because the Ducks goaltending, just really unfortunate timing because they were playing well. Now let's see what Ville Husso can do, because we know what he did in St. Louis that one season, and that's why Detroit traded for him. Let's see if he can get back on track with the Ducks. And it's good to see Mityukov scoring. I know he wanted more ice time. He looks to try to get out of here. It's funny, Coach, because I've always said this. How crazy is it that Anaheim is such a defensive factory? How many good NHL defensemen, not only do they produce, but they produce for other teams around the league. Excuse me.
You're right. Look, this is going to be a problem for many teams because the depth is not there anymore. So injuries could hurt any team. And when you have another fight right now, guys, Monahan is fighting right now for the
Cody Glass.
Yep. So it's again continues to have a 17 second at the end second period, guys. Monahan with who is this? Glass. Cody Glass.
Yeah, Cody Glass. Yeah, Cody Glass dropping the mitts.
We have a question. I skip. Apologize, but I will bring to you. It was coming from Ovidio, I believe, or Conroy. No. Murray was asked to okay everything. Randy, hold up. I'm going to get this one very soon. I'll have to go a little bit more higher. Jim, Stan. Good to see you in the chat there. Who is your surprising team so far?
I mean, it might sound like I'm a homer pick right now because, Coach, I know you write about this team, but you and I have discussed this on my show, Full Press Hockey. If guys want the episode, I'll post it back up on my Twitter. Chicago Blackhawks, to me, very surprising this year. I didn't expect them to be this good. I'm going to be really honest. The way Bedard's playing, Jeff Blashill's got the line combinations really good. You got a good goaltender in Spencer Knight. I've been really, really shocked at how good the Chicago Blackhawks are this year. I've been to me, that's one of my surprise teams this year. I mean, not to say Pittsburgh isn't a surprise, because I could use that in the Eastern Conference, but any team that has Sidney Crosby on it, I'm not discounting, because look what he's doing. This year, he's just put the trade chatter, just put it to the side. It said, no, we're going to be a good team this year. But to me, there was no expectations for the Blackhawks to be good this year. Last year, I said San Jose. Last year, I said San Jose would probably be, a surprise team. I was a year ahead. They're playing really well this year. But to me, if I look at it roster-wise, that's the most surprising team to me this year.
No, you're right about this. I follow you. I follow the Blackhawks every day. I know what's going on over there. For me, they play over their expectation. And you have a slump the last couple of days. They have a couple of games, 1-4-0. And they have now 0-4-1. And then they come back to beat Anaheim. They're going to be on the road for the next 4 games. Very strange schedule. They play Vegas Tuesday. Then they go to LA Kings Thursday. They stay there, and they play the Kings again Saturday.
Wow.
That's crazy. And they play Anaheim, and they not play San Jose. So they have to come back to San Jose during the season, and they're going to play San Jose, I believe, and they're going to hit Seattle, and they're going to hit Anaheim one more time, I believe. That will be the schedule. But I would say to you, the team, with that, you have to look about what my expectation at the beginning of the season, who's going to be at the bottom 5. And one of them you did not mention, I think for me was at least not be there, was the Kraken. The Kraken, I was not expect to be so high like they are right now. We have to give credit for Lane Lambert. And
100% on that. I thought he was a good coach with the Islanders.
Yep. So I think this is a good one there. And I'm a little bit higher to what we expect at the beginning of the season. Whatsoever, I would put them at the 10. But that's all my 3 team I think is going to be there. Pittsburgh, higher what we expect, of course. Boston, yes and no. because Boston have their players. He wants to see the chemistry, but the reason they are there is right now Swimmen, Pasnak, and
Yeah.
Morgan Keke with 20 goals. That's crazy if you think about Keke
How about
right
how
now.
about Geeky for a second? How about Geeky for a second, Coach? And I want the chat to comment on this because we're interactive here. But tell me a when we look back in that summer, tell me a worse non-qualifying offer than that by the Seattle Kraken. Like I can't think of one. I know it might be recency bias, but come on. Like how did you not keep this guy?
That's it. He was in the backyards, right? He was not like
Yeah.
coming. He was in the backyard, so they came for Carolina, and they have to think about, okay, we're never going to know that, but who they let go, who they keep over him. That would be my question of that organization. So why did you go not keep him around? And his contract was not like $9 million per year. So I think you're right, and I think it was a mistake again by Ron Francis. At that time with the with the Kraken. So look, we won't see what happening with them. A lot of center there. This is a team could trade at some point a second center, I believe, because they have Catton, they have Bernier, they have Shane Wright, and so this is a team could maybe open up a door for a center if they need to make some change. Just jumping in the quick bet of the night, the second shot for the X and our love. Thanks a lot, PL. Enjoy the rest of your night. Yamo knock the door. Or Arm, I apologize to you, Armo. Welcome back, Arm. And everybody, don't forget, please, to click on the likes. Thanks to be with Alkination, a couple with N26 about this. Thanks so much. I'll talk about this. I want to talk about one more news before I'm going to talk a little bit more deeper. The news about the Buffalo. Welcome back, Norris, return of the ice tonight. Scored a goal tonight, by the way. And I want you to comment about this. The Vegas called up Carter Hart, and the people in the chat maybe make some comments about this. What will be the effect of Carter Hart, and how are you going to deal with all the come around that situation? I know today the Hurricane announced Cal Foote signed a new deal, American Hockey League. Formenton play in Sweden or Swiss, and then you have KHL.
I think McLeod and somebody else went
It's
KHL,
just
but I don't know.
Dubé is not there. So the four guy, I cannot remember his name, is over there. But otherwise, what do you feel about Carter Hart?
I mean, first off, good for Josh Norris to come in for Buffalo. Great for him to come back, score a goal. They need him for that. For me, I mean, look, Carter Hart, look, guy's allowed to earn a living now. I mean, whatever public opinion says about Carter Hart and morality and all that stuff, look, everybody gets second chances at life. Everybody gets second chances to play in the league. Me personally, would I have done it? Probably not, but I'm not a general manager that needs a goaltender. The Vegas Golden Knights need a goaltender. We know Aiden Hill's out of the lineup, but Kara Schmid is not performing up to where his abilities are. So signing Carter Hart makes sense. Again, there's going to be a circus tomorrow if he starts against Chicago, which he's supposed to, despite what Bruce Cassidy said today that he's unsure what he wants to do. The belief is he's going to start. Now, how rusty will he be? Is he going to take all the questions in the morning? What's the post game going to be like? Whenever he starts, this is the circus that's going to be with it. So you have to deal with the public relations stuff that comes with it. If he plays great, it's a great signing. He was playing good until all this stuff blew up in his face with Philadelphia, because he was Philadelphia's goalie of the future. Like, we need to realize that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see what happens. But the issue is, for me, it's not so much the goaltending in Vegas. It's the fact that their defensemen are older. Nick Hague's not there. No Pietrangelo. They're slower. They're not as good as they were when they won a Stanley Cup. Like, I'm being honest here. Like, Carter Hart's going to cover some problems up, but their defense is not as good as it used to be.
Who can really carry on the puck like Quinn Hughes, Lennartson, or they don't have? Like,
they don't have one. They don't have anybody. And the thing about it is, they've gone all in since they've come into the league. Every top guy they've traded for, they've given away picks, draft picks, prospects, all that stuff. So they need to start restocking their cupboard and seeing what's in Henderson and realizing they need to start drafting and developing and looking at from that end instead of going all in all the time, because eventually it's going to catch up with them. I know there was reports that the deal with Rasmus Anderson was in place last year, and there was something in over the summer, and it couldn't get to the finish line. Look, I agree. I mean, could Quinn Hughes go to Vegas? Sure, but what assets do they have right now? Like, could they make it work? Sure, but again, is he going to stay there long term? We'll find out. Again, everybody can throw anything out there, but they need a puck moving defenseman because they don't have one.
You're right about that. We'll welcome back Claude Richard, arm. We have also Austin knock the door. We forgot you, LDP, a little bit early. Please don't forget, to click on the like, become a member, subscribe of the Hockey Nation Live Show. What I learned, every Monday I do this, sometimes 2 of them, 3 of them. Tonight I have 4 of them, Mr. Because I knew Jim was coming, so I said, I'm going to go a little bit more deeper about that. And what I learned from last week, guys, this is a league at 3 teams now. And that's it. It's Dallas, Minnesota, and Colorado. And the last 20 games, guys, each team of them, they lost 1 game, Dallas, and the last 1 game. We don't talk about Dallas. We're only focused on Colorado. Minnesota lost only 4 games in the last 20 games, regular time. That said, last 10 games, Minnesota, Dallas, and also Colorado did not lose 0 game at the regular time. Jim, this is blow my mind. This is 3 teams in the same division, on the Central Division, and look like this is the year Colorado go all the way. When I did this, like, some people said, wow, this is crazy. If you think about this, what was going on around the lake, the rest of the team, right? But I'm going to bring now this problem, or this maybe a discussion about that. Now, tomorrow we start the playoff. It's Dallas, Minnesota, and the first round. We're going to lose one of the best teams in NHL playoff because a couple of years ago we switched from 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, everything like that. Do you think the NHL should turn around this, or do you keep the same format? Because the first round we're losing always 1, 2, 3 good team, maybe 4 good team after the first round. So how your thought about the playoff concept?
Look, I would change it back to 1-8, but again, if we went through 1-8, we would have similar matchups anyway over the last 2 years, because I looked at it. Because I was studying everybody talking about, how we need to, find a different way, and we need to have the good teams advance to the next round. But there would have been some teams going home early, good teams going home early in the first round anyway, under the old format. So Gary's never going to change it. Commissioner Bettman's never going to change it because A, TV, and B, this is how the rivalries come, and the playoffs are the most watched, and he likes it, and the owners like it, and while the players and some of the GMs don't like it, they understand it. It's not going away unless they really want to change it. But you look at it right now, again, we have a lot of good teams, especially in the Western Conference, going home. That's how allowed the path for Edmonton to get to Stanley Cup final. Now they've been a good team come playoff time, but sometimes it does get tiresome seeing the same matchups and seeing teams like Dallas and Minnesota and Colorado have to play in the second round instead of in a conference final. Under the old format, we used to get the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche meeting in a conference final, which was great because the hockey was outstanding. And the fact of the matter is that Dallas, again, understood what they needed to do. Get a new coach. Glenn Gullison comes in. Yeah, it took them a little bit to figure out their legs and figure out the system, but they got it. Jason Robertson's on a tear. Wyatt Johnston, first star. They're doing it with so many guys out of the lineup, too. But to go back to your point, I would change it, but I know it's not changing.
Yeah, you're right. The best solution would be 116, and everybody play again the same thing 3 times, whatever it is of the schedule. But there's going to be a big problem, and you have 3 great teams right now looking good. Luciano, welcome in the house. Larry, Mark in the house. Welcome everybody. Austin again. Don't forget, please to click on the likes. Appreciate a lot. Mark again also with us. We have a review. Review challenge for Pittsburgh.
Mm?
Wow. There you go. What I learned, Mister, is from last week. Columbus missing the playoff again. Do you know how many times they make the playoff during the 25 years in NHL? The Columbus. How many times?
I think it's either 3 or 4.
Only one.
Wait, in their 25 years, they've only made the playoffs once?
Yeah. I have to
I made
check
it
again.
twice.
Was it? Hold on. It's maybe they never passed the first round, but I have to look again.
No, they've gone past the first round once. They've made the playoffs twice.
Yes. It was
I think there might
won
be
the
a
playoff.
third one.
The only time you won excuse. The question should be how many times they win the playoff series in 25 years. It's only one time for this one. So you're right about that. I apologize, but still, look, last 11 game, 8 of the 11 are in overtime. And they blew out 7 games of the 11 when they lead by 1 goal during the third period, the beginning of the third period. And what is wild with them, the goal against the first period, they are number 1 in NHL. They only gave 15 goals in NHL. That's not including tonight, honestly. And the third period, they are second worst in NHL at 36 goals against. Only one team is in front of them is Vancouver. This is a wild game. Like team, they lead, they dominate, and suddenly they cannot keep the lead and they fall apart. You have a couple of players have a really bad year so far. Sean Monahan is one of them, scored a goal tonight. Congratulations for him. Ken Johnson does not looking good. This team right now is only on Zach Werenski. Of course, Marchenko is not there tonight. Olivier is not there. But that team is really the defenseman, Zach Werenski. I think I couldn't consider him like an underrated defenseman.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that, it goes through Werenski. I think Jack Reeves should be the starting goaltender for the Columbus Blue Jackets moving forward. I know you have to play Merzlikins. At some point, you have to play him. But I think Columbus, I think they have to ride Jack Reeves. I had them as a playoff team or battling for a playoff team this year just because of what they did last year. Need to see a little bit more out of Fantilli. He's playing better. But you're right. They need to play a little bit better. And they remind me of the Islanders a couple of years ago. Remember, Islanders would play really good for first 2 periods of a game, but could never hold on to a lead. And that kind of cost them in the end. Them holding on to leads and not getting those extra points definitely going to hurt Columbus for sure. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a fan of Columbus. I like what they're doing. I like the team they're putting together. They probably could have made moves last year, but the team played so well that Don Waddell didn't make any moves. We'll see what they do this year.
Yeah. It's like sometimes it's a wild season this year. I just go back on this. This is wild this year, Jim.
Yeah, it is.
I never see
it's
that
really
before.
wild.
And
look, the parity that everybody said there is in the National Hockey League, whether it's created by the point system, the salary cap, whatever, there is real parity this year in the National Hockey League because, look, there's so much talent in this league right now.
Question for Roger, Jim, if you don't mind. I apologize, I cut you. Why do you think some NHL team are always same to get playoff each year?
They've put together good rosters like Dallas, Colorado. They draft, develop well, but they don't forget about drafting and developing, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, Montreal can't forget to do that, even if they make the playoffs. But it's about being a consistent playoff team every year, finding the right free agents, but not forgetting we also have a development system that we need. God forbid we have injuries. And that's why Dallas is so good. They draft the right. Colorado, same thing. Tampa for years did the same thing. Detroit, New Jersey, go down the list of teams that did this. Pittsburgh for years, how many guys they come up right now? Ben Kindle coming into the league. And that's when Jake Getzel shined in 2017. He was a draft pick. So I think you just gotta give credit to your amateur scouts, your professional scouts, and bring in the right players.
Yo, well done. I would say one more thing to go with that part is their trade. They do the right trade for them, and then they don't want the retools. The retools quickly and perfectly right to keep that team stable. So this is a couple of teams like that. Look, one thing I can recall in my head that turn around very quickly is Washington. They dropped a playoff series a couple of years ago. They dropped all the way. I think they draft number 8, Ren Leonard, and then they come back right away up. So something they find a way to rebuild that year during summer. Jim Dubois, Chikron, they make some modification quick, and they what turn around to be good for them. We have to give you credit for Washington. Perry asks you, is Colorado and Dallas really that good, or is the NHL into a parity pool of mediocrity?
I think Colorado and Dallas are the two best teams in the league right now. Like if we're putting a class together, I think it's Colorado, then it's Dallas, then it's everybody else. Because let's be honest, who in the Eastern Conference is on their level right now? Not too many teams that I can think off the top of my head. Maybe Carolina, and that's it. Like that's one team between both conferences.
No, you're right about this. Honestly, it's only right now Colorado and Dallas. Like the last 20 games, it's only 2 of them. I know Carolina is looking good. They're missing Slavin, everything like that. But the way they play both the team right now, nobody can go around that. We have another question for you, Mr. Jim. Have any question, guys? We out there. So we have a template. I make a lot of things about Montreal. We're going to get there. I have 1 hour. We don't talk a lot about NHL during the shows during the week. And I just want to go with Jim tonight. We're going to get about 1 hour NHL. We're going to talk about Montreal. Then we'll come back with other cues. We have a great clash question tonight. 5 questions, guys. By the way,
guys. By the way, no Brendan Dillon to start the third period for New Jersey.
Really? I know I'm not there anymore. I moved that one over there.
No, I just turned the game. I have the game on, so I was watching when you were talking, and I saw that Dillon didn't come out for the start of the third period for the Devils.
All right, 2-2 at the beginning of the third. 5 questions. And by the way, I predict yesterday 2 big predictions. First, 2 weeks ago, Toronto are going to be out of the playoff. And I predict the Blues I predicted before I know the injury today. So I was like, maybe I need to have a mulligan on that one. I predict the St. Louis Blues would make the playoff, Jim.
Yeah. No, I know. And look, I didn't have the Blues as a playoff team this year, but I thought they would be competing. And I actually saw the Blues last week. They came into New Jersey. They're playing better. Like, let's not forget, they're playing better. They're not getting blown out of games. They're losing in overtime. Like, they're playing a good game.
You're right about that. What do you think about Columbus? Does that make the playoff? Or do you think they should trade for Sean Monahan?
Sean Monahan's not coming back to Montreal. Like, he signed in Columbus. He signed there as a free agent. Yeah, it would be a perfect 2C, but I've seen it too many times. I don't see teams going backwards to find players that were once there. If they really wanted the player, they would have kept them, or they would have found a way to get him in free agency. I don't see him. I don't see Sean Monahan coming back to Montreal Canadiens.
What about you? About Matthew Schaefer? Are you backyards?
Look, Matthew Schaefer is doing things right now that I didn't expect him to do in the National Hockey League. I didn't think he was going to adapt this well. I thought it was going to take some time. He is doing things that Scott Niedermayer did, that Bobby Orr did, Cale Makar's done. I am really, really impressed with Matthew Schaefer. Now, let's see if he hits the rookie wall. I want to see with Schaefer, I want to see the back end of this schedule, right? Like, okay, he gets to Christmas, he continues to play well. Give me January, coming out of the Olympic break, and that schedule at the end of the season. I want to see how well he's doing then. But right now, fantastic.
You're right about this. Mark from Jim. Mark to Jim. What does your team need to be on the same level as the Avalanche? Woof. McKinnon.
McKinnon, what's the list? McKinnon, Makar, Rantanen. Not Rantanen. He's not there anymore. Natchez. They need another top 6 scorer to put in that lineup. They played Colorado really well in the game 1 at the home and home series in October, I believe. They lost in overtime, and then they got pummeled because they didn't stay out of the penalty box. Look, Colorado's on a different level right now. Look, I'll tell you this thing. There was some debate internally in 2017 whether or not to take Nico Hischier or Cale Makar first overall when the Devils had a first overall draft pick. There were people that had Makar number 1 on their boards in the New Jersey organization. They went with the center. Can't blame them. Hischier's turned out to be a good two-way center. But they need that. They need to play better defense. They just need to be consistent like the Avalanche to be on their level. New Jersey's not on that level because they don't know how to play a full 60 minutes. That's their problem.
You're right. I think you're one thing we never talk about Colorado because what's going on with McKinnon, Nick Cash, and McCall, Jim, and we don't hear nothing. But I think for me, is a great season so far. The goaltender Edgewood
Yeah.
is
The two former Devil goalies are doing pretty well in Blackwood and Wedgwood.
I'm sorry about that. Here we go. We have a question from Perry. What did fans of New Jersey really think of Piquet Subban? I heard never know a Jersey fan, and this question has been in my mind for a while.
Look, I never had issues with PK Subban. I think they liked him here in New Jersey. He didn't. There were. I think people loved him here. To be honest, like every interaction I had with him, it was great. Good dude. Like just fun guy. At the back end of his career when he came here, but he helped a lot of young players. Never had an issue with him. Now, did he get in trouble during the COVID season? Yeah, because he posted videos that he wasn't supposed to being at the facility. But hey, oh well, that happens. But other than that, he was fine.
You're right about that. Arm, welcome in the show. Welcome with us. Arm is directly from BC, by the way. So good afternoon. Well, now it's not. It's now good evening, 6:20. Pete Martin, welcome in the house. Hopefully you're doing well. Jim forgot the Lightning and the Ease. Evan Barak, Carolina.
I'm not sure about. I mean, look, the Lightning are playing better right now. They're doing it without a lot of guys in their lineup, so that's impressive. Their start wasn't the greatest. Let's see. Again, let's see the back end of the season. Again, I said there was 1 or 2 teams in the East. I couldn't think of another one at the time. Those 2 teams, maybe. There's not many. And again, I saw a comment in there pumping the brakes on Colorado. Look, I was asked about this question over the weekend. Right now, it is the Colorado Avalanche Invitational. But again, if they don't go through some type of adversity before the playoffs, we've seen it with all these great teams. Once they get punched in their mouth in the playoffs, they don't know how to adjust.
You're right about that. Question for Ron. What are the odds that a player like Makar plays just as good with every team?
I would say pretty high. Kel McCarr is a generational defenseman that's going to make any team better. Like the way he moves the puck, his skating, edge work, everything that he does, he just controls the game. Him and Quinn Hughes to me are two of the top defensemen, if not the 2 top defensemen in the league right now. And yeah, I know Quinn Hughes is on a bad Canucks team, but you could see the difference with Quinn Hughes out of the lineup than he is within the lineup. And I think same with McCarr. You put him on any team, the offense from the back end is that's how good he is. Let's just say that's how generational he is.
You're absolutely right about that. We welcome Roger Delaney in the house at Peter August also. Don't forget, everybody, to click on the like if you don't mind. That'd be great. Stenderman said, who asked Stenderman, are the Avalanche greedy enough to win the cup? They seem to play well during the season, but not as good in the playoff. The answer we said to you, stand before Jim answer. It's because they play against Dallas at the second round or the first round.
Look, I'll say this. I think Colorado is as good, if not better, than the team that won the cup in 2022. If they have all their depth in the lineup and it's not a four-man team, Colorado's winning a Stanley Cup because they have Sam Girard playing on the third pair. Their defense right now is playing really well. Lehkonen, when Nichushkin's in the lineup, I think they're going to get a depth scorer somewhere to add, maybe another defenseman. But to me, Colorado is playing really well, and I think they're a really, really good team. And
Right.
right on cue, Coach. You called out Zach Werenski being a money player for Columbus, scored to make it 3-2. Sean Monahan just made it 4-2 Columbus in the third period.
Oh my God, back-to-back goal.
Yeah.
It was 3-2 right now. Me, I'm still at 3-2 right now.
Yeah.
They gave the goal to Charlie Coy on the last one over there. But it's coming right there. They have a... Okay, is it Nemec got beat on that one? Nemec loses 6.
Yeah. Well, they got four. They're playing with four defensemen right now because Siegenthaler got thrown out of the game for not having his vice trap, and Dylan didn't come back. So they're playing with 4D right now.
Yeah, you're right. Suddenly with the Saturday, Peter, RJ Tony. Question, and would the Islanders want someone like Jekai on their team?
They probably would, but I don't know if they're going to give up anything to get him, like anything substantial to get him, right? Like I think the Islanders would like to have somebody on like that, but I want to see what the Islanders have for the full complement of their team. They're going through injuries right now. Feel bad for Jersey kid Kyle Palmieri, 6 to 8 months, torn ACL. A lot of non-contact injuries in the league this year. I feel bad for him, but bad move on Philadelphia, bringing the puck back into the zone when he was still in there. Strips the puck, gets a secondary assist, and then gets off the ice. Good for Palms. Good guy, good Jersey kid. Grew up playing hockey with him. Good, nice guy. All the best to Kyle Palmieri. But yeah, I mean, they could use him, but again, they could probably find that in the draft if they really needed to.
Great question from like there's some people ask question about the players prospect because nobody talking that much about this, and good question Perry like this. I have a friend who is a big Boston University fan. He is the goaltender Yakharov, the New Jersey goalie, in 2028.
Oh, good question. It all depends because Markstrom's new extension doesn't kick in until next season. Allen's here for a little bit longer. I could see it. It all depends on if he's going to the AHL in the next couple of years and see what he does there. Because, again, it all depends on his progression because he's not having a great season this year. Not the season that he had last year. And this was not my fear, but this is my understanding no matter what the sport is. Kid comes out of nowhere. Not a lot of people have tape on him. And he plays really well. Then teams have an off season to figure you out. Nah, again, the team in front of him isn't playing well, but he's not coming up with the saves that he did last year. I'll just say that.
Honestly, we're out today until the 28th, about 3 years. He's going to be out maybe next year, maybe return. So it will be 2 years. It will be really difficult to start her in 2028. That will mix with Jake Evans, but still not guaranteed there. Some goalie take a little bit longer. It's 50-50, I would say to you. But he have a good, he could be a good goalie in the NHL if he's developed properly.
I think he will be. I think he will be, but they got to develop him. Don't rush him. Do the Montreal plan that they're doing with Jacob Fowler. Just let him develop.
Yeah, I agree with you about that one.
Just let him get ready.
Let's move on. We have the insider Jim Beringer with us tonight. Any question, guys? burning on. We just pushed back the Montreal Canadiens, and Waskey are going to do it Thursday night, so don't worry about that. He is here. He's not often here. We take advantage of him, and that's a great news. We have a question from Pete Martin. Thought on Michael Edge being a Habs sooner after Dan later. Michael Edge have a weekend of 6 points, if I can recall it properly. 5 points, but may look like a 6 point against Advert. How you feel about that? Michael Edge is a part of my clash tonight, Mr. Jim.
Yeah, no, I like Michael Hage. I like him. Like, I think he's going to be with the Habs. I don't know if it'll be this season. Maybe it's the back end of his college season, whenever that finishes. I think, though, the way we've seen with Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon running things, he could see the AHL before he sees the National Hockey League. That's just my opinion on the thing. But they do have a future center. This team is loaded right now. There's a reason why they didn't want to move him in the summer, right? Like, because that's the name the Blues were asking about if they were going to get Jordan Kyrou or Braden Shen. I don't think the Habs want to move this player. Me personally, I wouldn't move him either because he's the future at center in your top six. That's how good he is. So I can definitely see it, but I don't know if I see it this year.
All right. One thing he could do at the end of the year, it would be his last season in NCAA. So it's going to be a contract with Montreal Canadiens. How are you going to join Montreal? We go straight to Laval Rocket. And so the end of the year. But I believe both of them. Yeah, I believe he's going to be. That's his final year in NCAA for him. Question for Roger Bouchard. Among all the team or all the GM this year in NHL, where does Hugo rate?
Who? I'm sorry?
Hugo. Jack Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon.
Oh, yeah. Where did you? Oh, the tops for me. These guys rate tops for me. The moves they've made, the deals that they've been able to get, the players that they've signed. Let's be honest, like the Lane Hudson deal, very, very team friendly. Now, I mean, look, that Hudson probably could have gotten 10, 11 if he really wanted to, but he didn't. He wants to be there. 5 times 6 for Mike Matheson, and the last year of the contract as a 5-team no trade. I mean, what is this duo haven't done yet in Montreal? Like, they're playing really, like, they're doing everything right. I was about to say play. They haven't played, but they're putting up a product together and understanding when they need to make a trade, like the Alexander Carrier trade last year. Nice pickup in Texier, by the way. I think that's a great pickup for them. They need NHL depth. To me, right now, you put management groups up there, got to be top 5, if not the top number 1 spot.
Good point, good question, good answer. I will say to you, when I evaluate GM, for me, I evaluate on 20 categories. Salary cap, draft, roster construction, come with a trade, and development for the players. So put this all together. That's how we're going to get that. But what your GM bring to us is about what Ken Hughes did overall. For me, I would say top 8 in NHL because his job is not done, and you have some question, some answer we don't have yet, Jim, like development and of course the draft for them. I think his problem sometimes is the trade. He makes some trade where it's questionable. But at the end of the day, salary cap, you have no one close to him about salary cap. Like no one. You cannot compare one beside him. He's lead on the salary cap. His template salary cap is the dream for the 30 or 31 older GM in NHL. His template, it blew the mind about that. Mark, I have a question for you. It's a bit what you answered a bit early. He was not here. But would you target as a singer in the off season? That's a little bit the difference right there. And the Pittsburgh scored a goal, take the lead 4-1. Again, the Flyers and Novak, ex-Nashville Predator.
That's a good question. So in the off season, so if O'Reilly doesn't move, do I look at him? Do I try to re-engage with St. Louis about Braden Shen? That's a player I might look at. Maybe Seattle. We'll see what Jared McCann is like because he can play center. Then I look around the league. Do I try to re-engage with Calgary? Now I'm trying to think around other places. The way Boston's playing, they're not moving anybody. Do I try? And again, anything inside the division is going to cost you more than what you might want to pay. Those are probably the targets right now. If I'm trying to think of, Chicago's not going to do anything in the summer. A little early, but could be something there. San Jose might have something. It depends on where they draft. You might be able to sneak something there. Yeah, I mean, not really a lot of targets out there for second line center in off season. Pretty much the same guys that are available now. Could, if they don't move, could be available in the off season. Trying to get more detailed on that, but I mean, if they're unrestricted free agent now, you could wait to the center to sign them, but don't try to overpay for those types of players.
Yeah, good answer. And I have to ask you if Michael is going to play with the Habs this year.
Depends when his college season's over, right? Like if they don't make, because if Michigan makes Frozen Four, he's gonna be playing what till mid to about end to beginning of April. Do they want him to go to Laval first? Do they sign him to his ELC right away? Because guys, don't forget, once he signs his ELC, he can't go back to college. So once that's it, it's over. It all depends. I could see it, but again, it all depends on what Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon decide is his best development plan.
You're right. Perry asked you this question. The Habs do the great ceremonies and engage with alumni a lot. How is that in New Jersey? Our guys like Arnott, Sikora, Rafesky are always like Jason Arnott.
Yeah, when they do their cup celebrations, it's been great. You see all the former Devils like Sikora, Jason Arnott, Brian Rafalski. Some of their ceremonies aren't as good, but the Montreal Canadiens are the best in the league at what they do. New Jersey, unfortunately, is not. But when they do have their Stanley Cups, like their celebrations for like 03, 2000, 95, they hit home runs. They brought mostly everybody back. It was great to see a lot of the old guys that you hadn't seen in a while. So I think I rate New Jersey like somewhere in the middle because Montreal is the best at what they do.
Question for Sen: Are there any good center that will be a free agent at the end of the season?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd have to
Not
look that up.
not anymore. They all signed.
Yeah, they all signed. Yeah, they all signed. Yeah. They all
Yeah, right.
signed. Pretty much they all signed. Because Kopitar's not coming back, right? Like he's a free agent, but he's retiring. Anybody who we think is going to be a free agent is not really going to be. There's really not a lot on the board. Anders Lee, if he keeps playing, is going to be with the Islanders. Malkin, if he keeps playing, is probably going to be with the Penguins. It all depends if
Super chat.
We have a super chat. Mr. Tony scored a goal of the night. The super chat, he did it. Thank you. He did it again. Luciano get an assist on that one, assisted by Mr. Enartap. Both of them with Mr. Tony did a great goal on that one. Thanks so much, Mr. Tony, to support the channel. Very kind of you to do that, like you do all the time, Tony. I appreciate that. I think you answered the question because the rest of the guys, they signed, McDavid signed a new deal.
Yeah, Nick Schmaltz is the only guy that's really out there if he decides to go to free agency.
Panarin right now is the top of the UFA right now. So that would be the question for Mr. Dan Perry. Jim, why is the New Jersey 900 at home and only 500 on the road? What is its fun and how they play home versus road? Pittsburgh saw a goal 5-1, and now the building and the Flyers leave the building as the ex-Flyers Kevin Hayes scored a goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, New Jersey plays well at home because they keep the game simple and they don't do too much. they get caught on the road a lot, trying to push the offense, push the pace, and they give up the first goal a lot. And when you start chasing the game, you develop bad habits, and those bad habits creep into your game. And now you're chasing and you're trying to create offense, and you're giving up 2-on-1s, and that leads to goals. And that's why they're not playing well.
Now, well said about them for sure. 5-1 both game. Luciano, to answer to you, I don't need to do it. RDP is going to do this to report all the goals on the Buffalo tonight. I'll let you know. But a good question. Good comments about that. Because RDP is a big fan. Again, Tony, thanks so much on that one. If you have any questions, we'll get you out here. Don't forget, guys, click on like Pittsburgh 5-1. You're right. N26, big fan on this. And after that, we're going to move on after that. Is it time for the management to have a talk with Gallagher and figure out how to redefine his role on the team or next at this plan? Love Gally, but not looking good right now.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to go to him and figure out what his role is moving forward. Look, I think he's coming to the end of his career. I think he's probably going to want to be a Montreal Canadian for life, but it all depends on the price and what what he sees his value is to the team, what they see his value is. Because right now, let's face it, he's nothing more right now than a fourth line player. Third line, maybe on a good day. Not to knock Brendan Gallagher, but again, what he did last year and what he's doing this year is different. Again, you can only have so many career seasons. So
you're right.
I look at it and say, look, they're going to eventually have to talk to him, but it may not be right now because they're focused on making the playoffs. Whenever the season ends, that's when they're going to have that conversation.
It's still one more year to go next season, so he's going to be at his final year contract. I know it's not going to happen. I understand that part over there. But at some point, oh my God, 3-1 for Pittsburgh. And he decided to shoot the puck, but he forgot the puck. So at 3-1, and they turn around to be good. That said, guys, I was Montreal. I understand that. I know Vancouver is not going to do that. But because I think they like the players, the rumor, I don't think so it was true. But Kiefer Sherwood is on the market, it look like. Vancouver is born in Vancouver, is Gallagher. I understand that. And the salary cap increasing next year. So I don't know. I would trade Gallagher. I would trade Jaden Strouble and maybe a third round pick. Maybe when that's it for Sherwood and to get out Gallagher. But this is long term. We have to wait about that. Gary Conway is in the house. Welcome back. Thanks to be with us.
Yeah, but does Gallagher have trade protection?
Yeah, but I think now a list of 10 or something like that. But in fact, he will go to Vancouver or his area. I think there will be the good things to do that for sure. Who do you recommend I pick up for New Jersey in my pool? I want to don't look use. Who should I add?
Well, I mean, it all depends on who's taken for your team, right? If Nico Hischier is available, I get him. Bratt, Meyer, those guys. Meyer's on a heater right now. I think he scored in his last 5-6 games.
Yeah.
I would get him. I get Hischier, Bratt, guys like that. Luke Hughes, Simone Nemec, I think is a good player to pick up. I'm trying to think who else. Mercer, take a wild card on Mercer. So I think that's a guy I would get.
Good point. Do like me, Perry. Just keep him. I have him on my pool.
Just keep him. Yeah.
I get him over there. And now we have more pushing left and right between Pittsburgh and the Flyers. End of the game, 1:24 to go. Imama play right now with the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Imama, ex-Ottawa Senator, play many years with the Belleville Senator. He was the one around the Laval Rocket for many games and many times on that one. And I'll ask you this question before we move on. I ask you about Seattle is a good destination transaction for the Montreal Canadiens because they have Cotton, O'Brien, Shane Wright, and Bernier. Do you think Montreal could trade with that? If it's the case, what it would be maybe the trade what you can looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good option to look at. Again, it all depends on where Seattle views themselves. Kind of ironic if Shane Wright gets traded to Montreal, considering all the hoopla around that draft. Be kind of ironic, but I think they see him as a corner piece. But again, it all depends on management. You're probably, I mean, I don't think you have to give up too much. It's not like you're trading with St. Louis or Vancouver or any of those teams. Maybe a Struble, maybe somebody like that you could give up to get one of those players or a player of significance that you feel is valuable from Seattle. I think Seattle's a good player, has a good teams and good players that they could use, but it all depends if Seattle falls out of it by the trade deadline, because I think they do have players that they can use. Um, and I think Alexiak's one of those guys that are definitely going to get moved regardless of where this team is.
You're right about that. One of the subject of the night was honestly no panic yet in Montreal. So what the reason I talk about this is because the performance they did in Colorado. And then I'm going to ask Jim a couple of questions for the Montreal Canadiens. We have about 45 minutes to go there. So if any other question, please let me know. And I will ask him. So now, no panic in Montreal behind that, guys. But yeah, no excuse, first of all. A lot of people saw they have an attitude. There was a game back-to-back, everything like that. I just want to remind everybody, guys, they are played last year in Vegas Wednesday night. They have a day off. They traveled to Chicago the Friday night. They beat Chicago, and they beat Vegas, by the way, last year. And then they went back for the Chicago all the way to Colorado. It was not Thanksgiving. It was at the holidays, New Year evening, and Montreal won those games. So I don't think it's an attitude was a problem. I understand it's difficult to play at Colorado the next day. I understand that, but they did it last year. I don't know why they did not do it this season with Montreal Canadiens. They gave 14 goals against Colorado and Dallas the last two games. And I would tell you the reason behind that. They are the two best hot teams with Minnesota right now. So they face two excellent teams. So we cannot panic because of that situation. The missing piece, the missing injuries. They have right now too many injuries, and they are difficult right now to patch up everything to perform at the same level they did in October. And honestly, they're missing really Caden Cooley, change everything. Why? I will give you an example. They have nobody to pick a spot at the top four. They tried to match up Struble, and they don't have anybody play with Lennartson. Kenan Cooley was the one was matched up with Lennartson, and the matchup was pretty good together. They put Struble there. They milk sometimes Jackal, and the one suffer without Kenan Cooley. It's not Montreal Canadiens, but it's Alex Carrier. Alex Carrier play a chair where he cannot do it. And -10 right now is -3 on the last trip. He's really struggling right now for Alex Carrier because he play a role like a PK, and he was not in the PK number one. You can see the modification, what happening with him. He's really not on the right time of his career with the Montreal Canadiens. So today they talk about him on the media. They talk about the fact he need to be better, everything like that. You understand that. And finally, we remember, guys, this is a young team. It's only 25 years old. And now they play with Jekai, Davidson, as inside of that team. Last week, they played with, last game, 4 rookies in NHL, plus 2 players under 22 years old, Bolduc and Sarkowski. So at some point, the reality is there. They are the facts, and that's the reason we are now is going on with the Montreal Canadiens. And you go evaluation daily. They try to go left, right. I'm a bit surprised they have no modification today. Jaden Struble is day-to-day right now. Did not send anybody Laval. I was expecting me today to send down Davidson because they play in Montreal the next 2 nights. I thought it would be fine there. We go to Laval and they maybe call up Sammy Blair, but nothing happening today on this side. Can they make other things. I'm not sure. Modification for the upcoming week with 4 games to go, back to back, and then they have another back to back during the weekend. Toronto is the St. Louis Blues. But this is right now, we need to be not panicking with them. And this is when they're going to get back everybody, the injuries, and they're going to get their team, but you're going to get better and they're going to be stronger and they're going to be fine. But still, without Cooley, it's very difficult right now for the Montreal Canadiens, and they have to figure out that. So I don't know what you want to add here more information about that.
No, look, I agree with you. I don't think there's any panic in Montreal, right? Excuse me. With Montreal right now, I believe if I look at it, right, the injuries, everybody goes through it, so that can't be an excuse. But I agree, Caden Gooley not being on defensive pairings right now is throwing everything off. I've talked about this all summer. I talked about it as a reason why you need to re-sign Mike Matheson. When you have a guy like Matheson, who, again, coach, you're wearing a player tee that has a captaincy on it. He may not wear the captaincy, Matheson, but he's an anchor, and I feel like he's the captain of that D. You have everybody aligned the right way, like we saw at the beginning of the season. Carrier's not punching above his weight class. Young guys are not punching above their weight class. That's when things get a little hairy for the Montreal Canadiens, right? I think when they play good defense, it helps their goaltending. I like the adjustments that Martin St. Louis made, moving Slafkovsky off the top line. It was getting too predictable when you're running the same unit out there all the time. I like the fact that now he's on line 2. He's using his body a little bit more. He's skating. He's looking like the kid that everybody expects him to be, playing with them it up. Again, he was trying to keep up with the other two. That's not his game. If he's using his body, being physical, getting in front of the net, that's his game. Being on winning the board battles, that's who he is. I like the fact they reclaimed Sammy Blais. Maybe he gets into the lineup at some point. It's just about playing the structure hockey with all these injuries, and I did not expect them to beat Colorado. They played well in Vegas. They did. I didn't expect them to take 4 points on that road trip. They did. You can't let panic come in. Just play your game and keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think you nailed it on different ways. Will be interesting what you're going to react. You have a big month of December. This will give us an education what Montreal going to get out. That could be coming back in 2 weeks, but it could come back only in 4 weeks, depending how he's going to be recovery of his injury. Everything like that. Yesterday, I make a big comments yesterday about, or I make a big show about how Montreal are soft as a team. I could use better words like maybe not soft, but less toughness. They don't have the Wolfpack mentality anymore. They are very quiet. They don't react. They are passive team. They are not active team. And it's funny because, Martin, so we talk about this today. Everybody was laughing at me last night. They are not soft. They are not passive, everything like that. Martin, so we explained today, guys, black and white. When he talk about the Montreal Canadiens preparation against Colorado, he blamed himself. The team was not ready properly the right way. They are a little bit more too passive. We ask them to not do the things they do things friendly, and we pay the price. He take the blame. Now that said, guys, this is you have to read a little bit more between the lines. Martin Zuig is getting more experience as a coach today, like compared was 5 years ago or 4 years ago. And the reason he took the blame today is because they don't want the media talk about different players, and they talk more about what he said today. So Martin Zuig is smarter. He came to the mic. They knew there was 7-2, so the people were blaming. It would be this. He said, "No, this is my job, and I did not do a good job." So they changed the conversation, not on the team, but more about himself. That said, the question is, do you think Montreal is a tough team or a soft team?
I think they're somewhere in the middle. I don't think they're a soft team because we've seen them engage and get physical and not get pushed around.
We see this in the past. Not anymore.
Yeah, but we saw it early in the season. Are they trying to play too European hockey? Maybe. But I think there's somewhere in the middle. Because I think if you kick sand in their face, they're going to punch back. And I do believe that. Do I think they're still a little bit small-ish on the forward group? Maybe. That's a fair argument. You could have that debate. Could you say they're soft? I'm not sure soft. I think maybe the physical presence that was there at the beginning of the season has gone away. And it's hard to do that over 82 games. But they need to find a way to get it back. Because when you get punched in the face, you need to punch back. And I think Montreal needs to do that. And they need to realize yeah, Newhook's out, Doc's out, all these guys are out. That's not an excuse anymore. We were a playoff team last year. We have to figure out a way to get back to playoffs this year.
So now the playoff last season show exactly who they are, right? They got dominated by the physicality of them. Montreal right now, if you look about this, I make a video today. They play with 11 players under 6 foot or 6 foot and young and smaller. 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", and 6 foot. 11 of them are the 18 skater for the Montreal Canadiens. Anderson did not fight. Jacky did not do much. Did not fight, so he lost the 3 fight, and they're missing really Cooley. So the Wolfpack mentality, when you have something push around, they are not there anymore like they was. The other team play and they hit Demidov, they hit Hudson, they hit Caulfield, and the response Montreal is not there. So it's become an easy team to play against them compared other team. And this is what my point of view about the Montreal Canadiens is they don't have those kind of toughness around them. If you talk about the 4 line, we have Evans, 6 foot. Anderson, yes, but how he play with toughness, maybe sometime. Then you have Alexandre Tessier, where he does not bring those anything like that. You have Gallagher, Veleno line. Forget about that. You have Demidov and you have Kapanen at that line, and that's not bring. Then you have Caulfield, Suzuki, and Budzik. Again, every line you have 2 players does not bring physicality and forechecking. So the intensity who they are right now, it's more about skill and development versus skill versus toughness. That brings back to you, Mr. Jim, that the next subject of this is about this one, and I know that we'll go that direction. Are Martin Saint-Louis focused to win or development at the end of the day, and he play more on the skill versus toughness? So I put this all together. The strategy of the TOI, I'm going to bring this a bit later. But the win versus development and the skill versus toughness is the intensity on the Montreal Canadiens. I don't want to blame all him, but the roster is built where they are right now under Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon. And the way they play is under Martin Saint-Louis want to play the team play, is the intensity of his team. At the end of the day, player does not respond what they get order, or they don't respond to be more physical because maybe Martin Saint-Louis said, be careful there, don't do that. I'm not have no clue. I'm not in the locker room. But put this all together, that team is not a team play with physicality like other team. And we know in the NHL and the season you can win in November, but you're not going to win in the playoff like that way. Whatever you have skill, you cannot. You need size, you need speed, and you need physicality come with that part. It's called toughness, grit, whatever you want to call it. So it was my subject yesterday. But this is today now. Give us a little bit what you think.
Yeah, look, I think the development type of the Montreal Canadiens has to, a little bit has to stop, because we need to say, hey, young team, all that stuff. But you can't develop players in the National Hockey League because the National Hockey League isn't a developmental league. Guys are there for a reason. They have to be put in the right roles to succeed. We know Suzuki and Caulfield have taken their next steps, and Caulfield had to play some time in the A. But it's about putting a winning lineup together. You have to be able to roll 4 lines. You have to be able to trust the guys on your bottom 6. The expectation this year for the Montreal Canadiens is to get to the playoffs, back to the playoffs, because they did it last year. You have to can't worry about time on ice, can't worry about who's playing with skill. Like towards the end of the game, if you're down, yeah, you're gonna have the most skillful guys out there. But I see too many coaches just rely on two lines at most, which is all skill, but guys get tired. You have to have belief in your bottom six, middle six, third, fourth line players popping in goals. Like you just can't. You got to be able to see what you have also in Laval. There are good players there that could come up and be in your middle six, in your bottom six. That maybe is the spark this team needs. Just because the kid makes a mistake doesn't mean he needs to be put on a bench. Like I don't agree with that strategy because it just puts the fear of God into a player, and now he's out there worried about not making mistakes instead of playing his game. The players they brought in, the players that they have the ability to win. But I think I agree. I think you can't worry about developing. It's now taking the next step, and you have to play to win hockey games now.
Yeah, good point about that. A lot of great comments in that chat. Now they sharing everything like that. Mr. Antiwan, welcome in the house. Hopefully you feel better. We have Pete to ask you, Jim, your thought on the Florent Jacquard. Should he be the roster long term?
I mean, I still think he's a little green, but you and I have been high on this kid. I thought he should have been on the roster earlier. I like him. He's got to be a little bit more physical, but I like him there. I would keep him on the roster right now. Again, if you're not going to play him that much, send him back down. But for me, I think what he brings, that energy, I like what he's brought to this roster. I'd keep him up for as long as you can until you can't.
Yeah, you're right about that. I agree with you. For Florent Jacquard, I think Florent would be better if he sent down in Laval for at some point. I think it would be better for his development. And now, can you
Maybe
see
you need to bring a guy up like Sammy Blais. You got to see what you have in him. Like you signed him, you brought him back, you picked him off waivers. I've said this on this show. I've been on throughout. I think Sammy Blake is still playing in the National Hockey League. Give him in the right situation. I think this is a player that maybe the Canadiens need to look at if we're talking about toughness and playing a certain way.
It's a 4-line liner. I would take him before Alexandre Dacey in my team.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be right there about that. Win versus development, guys. I want to hear from all of you. You have some rumor or something where they think about Jim. Martin Louis cut the bench a lot. And didn't have many games until last game. Play only 10 minutes. He's on the bottom of the forward. If we have 12 forward, usually still is maybe 10, 11, 12. Kapanen in that area. And is it where, or the reason where, they prefer other experienced players, more experience at the end of the game, whether meaningful game or it's by one goal, they losing by one goal, they lead by one goal, they sit down Demidov, and the people, fans want to see him more, and they don't understand where is it the borderline, the edge, is it win more important at development and about Demidov, or he really does not trust Demidov on the defensive zone coverage, and that's the reason he gets less TY.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I think they're trying to win and they're trying to put out the guys that are more defensively responsible. Again, this is my biggest beef with players coming into the league. And everybody has this opinion, and it's one way or the other. I've always felt you got to let the offensive skilled players be out there and let them learn how to play D. But you can't expect them to do it all the time because it takes away from their offensive ability. Yes, you have to win board battles. Yes, you have to do all this stuff. But a guy like Demidov needs to be on the ice all the time. Yeah, it's a great point. His ice time has definitely increased because Martin St. Louis changed up his lines, which he needed to because at some point it's going to get vanilla. But Demidov has to be out there because he can change the game. Yeah, again, it all depends on face-offs, right? Like if the Canadiens are down one, offensive zone face-off, guys pulled, yeah, you're going to see Demidov out there. Defensive zone face-off, maybe not so much. But I think you have to see what he can do because, again, you can't expect everybody to play D all the time. you brought him in for a reason. Everybody has high expectations. Don't stunt the kid's growth because you want him to play D all the time. I think you have to put his offensive abilities out there first. And I like, yeah, exactly, like Mitchkov, exactly. But Mitchkov and a Flyer is a different animal. I just think with Demidov, I think I would just want him out there all the time because he can change the game with his stick cannon ability and getting the puck out speed. Like he could flip it. He could flip the game on its head.
You're right about that. I agree with you for sure. On this one, we have to talk about two other things before we go to the class. Couple of great comments. If you have any question, please don't hesitate. So far, we have a great
I love
show.
the comment. I love the comments tonight. And again, Pete Martin, I loved it. Like I was asked about that second line on the weekend. Just I like the fact that Martin St. Louis put Bolduc on the top line. I like the fact that they're changing something up because at some point it was going to get stale.
Well, with the injuries, right? That's make the Martins with no choice, right? He have to balance more, and he had to find a chair for Bolduc, and I think that opened up more the freedom of Sakowski around without Zuski and Caulfield.
I think even without the injuries, I think at some point they were going to have to take Slafkovsky off the top line. You have to change your looks up at some point.
But the line, the number of the line of the Sakowski Caulfield is key. If you talk about analytics, we on that, the number was like elite line. There was like the top 10 best line in NHL. But the problem
when everybody's healthy. Yeah, when everybody was healthy, but now nobody's healthy. So
yeah, that's the reason. That's my point. Like when he was healthy, right? The line was here, the top 10, right? And then after that, the second, third, and fourth, there was on the bottom of the NHL. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are no balance between 1, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So one day have got injuries, but now they open up him to get, I need to get balance more my lineup. If not, I cannot let play Jacky, Davidson, and whatever it is. So he figured out to put a drop there. That bring Bolduc. And he was a bit concerned, but put Bolduc with Demidov and Kapanen together. And I think he did well. I think he decided that. Now, the number analytics guys are not extraordinary great right now. The sample is still too early. We have to wait 2 more weeks before we figure out that those numbers. But you talk about XGF, it's not great for Zuski, Caulfield, since Sakowski is not there anymore. It's surprisingly, but it is what it is at 5-on-5. That said, I think the team is a little bit more balanced. Now they are not only checking the line at Caulfield scheme, but now they can check also Sakowski. The Sakowski, he become a beast right now. We never see Sakowski how well he play right now. We just need to be consistent game after game, but he feel like something bigger on him right there. We have to give credit for him, for Sakowski on the set. Try to pick up everything here on the chat. We have something here. And we'll see what happening there. NHL wild season, injury, extra point. How do you feel about the extra point? This right now mislead the NHL team because I will give you example. St. Louis Blues, 0-7 on extra point. New Jersey, 6-1, I believe, or 6-2, I believe. You have team take advantage of the extra point. Boston is one of them. Where the extra point give them to make them at the top, but honestly, they are not at the top. Flowers, guys, I'll give you an example. Flowers, guys, and a shootout, 5-0 this year. That's crazy if you think about that. But some team take advantage of that, and they have so many, the percentage of the overtime is at 27, 28 right now. That's make the parity of the NHL, but extra point, is it something they will have to figure out something else? Or you think, of course, Gary Bettman like to get 7 teams together at 26 points, right? But is it hurt the hockey at the end of the standing or misleading the team where they think they are good because of the top the league? But at the end of the day, they got there because the extra point they get, they win in overtime or on a shootout.
And look, I've been a proponent of going to the international system because I've seen too many games where with about 4 or 5 minutes left in a 2-2 hockey game in the third period. Teams are just playing for overtime. But this is the system we have in the National Hockey League. Not to mention, this is like if you talk to agents around the league, certain players, this is the false parity we're getting because of the point system that we have. Because if we actually had like no overtime point, the loser point, the top teams would be so far ahead that the playoff races pretty much would be over by now, like we used to have, right? Like we would know who are in the playoffs right now. So the extra point keeps it exciting, especially the last couple of years when we've seen it come down to the wire in the Eastern Conference and sometimes in the Western Conference. Would I like to see 3-2-1? Yeah. Would I like to see the loser point go away? Yeah. But if the loser point's not going away, then just abolish the shootout and call it a tie. Because I think you used to get the same outcome with it as you would if you had a shootout or you don't win the overtime. I'm tired of the shootout. I don't like the shootout. It's a skills competition at the end of the day. I would rather have ties, and it serves the same purpose. It does. Like, realistically, if we're going to have an extra point, might as well just have a tie at that point.
Well said. Well, right about this, we have a conversation. We talk all the time for sure for the extra point. Retain an injury this year. He turned this team, many team, and the Jeopardy this season. And this is going to be, like I said, this is going to be a wild season, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is
wild. It's already wild.
Wild.
No pun intended, because the Minnesota Wild play in the National Hockey League. But this is I've never seen anything like this in my years watching this game and covering this game. The injuries, the closeness, and like, think about it. Last year, we already had a couple of trades into the season. Teams were just flipping out goaltenders. Teams were looking to make moves. Everybody's looking to make moves, calling and stuff, but nobody wants to do anything.
Yep. I think that's a good way to see that, and would be interesting how we're going to take advantage. I'm going to go to the clash right now, if you don't mind.
No, I don't
because
mind.
I think we have a lot of great questions for the clash. Some we have to think before you answer, I'm sure. And I did not go with the Devils tonight, so I give you a break for the Devils. So I think it'll be
they
perfect.
lost, by the way.
A lot of great comments in the chat. Keep picking up, everybody. If you have questions, go to push back those questions after the clash. We have a couple of more minutes. And the first one, Crosby, more goal at the end over Alexei Ovechkin.
At the end of the season?
Yep. Crosby scored 2 more goals tonight, by the way, everybody. And we know in the past, Jim, Crosby have more points, Ovechkin have more goals.
And Ovi's been inconsistent, but in the second half of the season, he does light it up. Absolutely, Crosby over Ovechkin, more goals. Why not? It's that type of year, right? It's a wild season. Let's just go out there. Let's just go out on a limb and say it. He's putting the Penguins on his back. I'll put this out here. I'll say it again. If the Pittsburgh Penguins get into the Stanley Cup playoffs and Crosby continues to go on point per game, 21 seasons averaging point per game, gets in the 90s, whatever, points, or maybe close to 100, he's on my ballot for the Hart Trophy.
You're right. I'll go with you for absolutely on that one. I feel like Crosby is on the mission right now. It's a honey pick year, and I feel like this is going to be a good year for him for sure. Leo Carlson scored a goal, and I'm take the lead 3-1. Just
good player, by the way.
He just tipped the puck in front of net. No chance for offer for him. Randy, not allowed for Randy. Exactly. Thank you, Willie. Willie, welcome back. Exactly. Willie is the helper of the Mr. Inatap. Crosby is getting ready for the Olympic. He is driving, and I love it. 20. Next one. The New York Rangers are going to trade Panarin at the trade deadline. So you're going to say yes or no. And if he's get traded, which team are going to get Panarin?
I got to think about this one.
Well, no, it's
It all depends on where their season is. If they're out of the playoff mix, I'm going to say absolutely, which I think they will be. I could see him going to Minnesota.
for Minnesota.
I could see it. I just as an aside, they're off on like Panarin likes it in New York. The Rangers are debating whether or not to keep him, but they don't want to keep him at 5 years. If anything, they would go 2-3 years with him. But he doesn't want to take a pay cut. So yeah, I say yes, they'll trade him, but at the caveat that they're out of the playoff mix. Because I think they could get something for him. I really do.
Yeah, me too. I agree with you. I think they go absolutely about that. Now it'll be interesting where Panarin is going to go.
There's not a lot of options if you really think about it, though. It's like Minnesota, maybe Florida. But he's really not a Paul Maurice type player, so I don't really see that fit. Does Tampa work? Yeah, I mean, not really a lot of options, but I could see him going to Minnesota to play with his boy Kaprizov.
That's a good point about for Minnesota for sure. There are not many space over there for sure. He's like $1 million, so it's about carrying $6 million for sure. I'm going to surprise everybody here, but I believe me, he's going to Anaheim.
I mean, that's a good spot. Rangers West, why not?
I think they have this. I think Anaheim will be good there.
Mark Elliott, great point. LA could use him.
Yeah. Now, can he return to Chicago next year? Maybe.
I would like that.
Because behind that guy, Chicago need money to fill up their space cap next season. So I think that would be a good one about that. But that said, I have a question for you the next couple of minutes about this situation. So I want to bring you your ID for that. Let's go move on to the next one. Do you draft Zarovsky over Michael Edge? I'm telling you, I know, and you're not coming to the class like easy to keep your questions in.
No. Ooh, both good players, by the way. Both are lighting it up this year. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong on that. Every time I look at your Twitter, Coach, is another more points for Zarovsky. Like, it feels like the kid never. I'm going to say not at all, just to be different. I like Michael Hage. I really do. I guess it's the U.S. in me, the college hockey in me. I think both guys are really good. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I really don't. I'm going to say not at all, just to be different because I went absolutely the first two times.
We have run not allowed. Randy absolutely on that one. Look, that's a good question, by the way. I know I did it, but it's not because I'm flat on that. Not allowed Pete Martin for Michael Edge. So I tried to wait a little bit. The people would tell us on that one. And not allowed. Depends, Ronnie. I know it depends. It's not allowed. We're absolutely close, but absolutely Mark Elliott on that one. Your Rand Kessler fan arm. Can Koivu have NHL career? Austin close, but absolutely a run. Correct. Not allowed in our top. But I'm going to give you my answer. But I'm going to tell you why behind that. First of all, I go absolutely about that. I'm sold and Alexander Zarovsky, guys. The Zarovsky guys, you're going to see another best player power play you never see in Montreal. That guy See the vision of his guy. This guy on the ice is unbelievable. 2 points today, both power play, 1 goal, 1 assist. His pass was unbelievable. You see, Sakaski did it yesterday, Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was. Zarowski does this constantly this year. My concern about Michael Edge, all the point he get is many times again the lower team and NCAA. That said, it's not going to be a bad players. If I have a choice between both, I take Zarowski. Secondly, Zarowski is only 17 years old, turned 18 years old, playing KHL. He's going to beat the record of the most point to any player under 20 years old, where Ivan Demidov did it last year. He right now 20 points in 23 games. If he continues to play that way, this is going to be great for Zarowski to get that. For me, the age is a factor. The vision of the player is a factor. The hands is a factor. The way he play is a factor. By the end, Montreal have 2 excellent prospects in the line. It's how after that, honestly, how you going to develop that one. We have a goal right there from San Jose. Take the lead 1-0 in the building. Tyler Toffoli scored a goal, Tyler Toffoli.
Hey, former Devil and Canadian.
You know, great about that. So at the end of the day, guys, we'll see what's happening there for them. Or the time will tell us, honestly, for me and for you. And we're going to get there. A lot of people, a smart man, Randy. Good thing we have them both. Here we go. Great point. I will never forget that during my years as a single father, telling my daughter to watch Crosby to score the Olympic goal and over time Zarowski, higher ceiling, PLW. And that's maybe the best description of what I'm trying to explain, everything like that, for sure. So here we go. I'm going to move on. The next one. Bedard and Robinson get $11 million a plus next deal. Both of them become RFA at the end of the year. One is 27 years old, and one is just 31. He's going to turn 21.
Not at all. I'm going to say Bedard gets it. I think Dallas is going to try to get Robertson under 11.
Bedard will get it, and Robinson go under?
Yeah, and Robertson goes under.
Zarowski as a
and here's my reasoning. Because Dallas still has a window to win right now, right? Like you said, Chicago needs to put cap space together. They have money on their books next season. So they could pay Bedard $11 million. Dallas doesn't, especially if they try to acquire other players. I think Jason Robertson is worth $11 million, but I think they're going to try to get him in at 10-5 or just under 11. Because they want to keep him. He wants to stay. But I think they're going to have to do it a reasonable number. That being said, I could be completely wrong. My initial gut tells me I wanted to say absolutely, but I just know the way Jim Nill works. If he presents the Connor McDavid situation to Robertson, what happened in Montreal with Lane Hudson, and the opportunity to win in Dallas, overtaking more money, that's why I think Robertson comes in under 11.
Rantanen got what, 12.5, 12.4?
No, he got 12. He got the Marner deal. He got 12. He got 8 times 12. Look, they can do 8 times 11, and I just think Jim Nill is a savvy GM that will present something to Robertson where he could get close to Rantanen and signing bonus money, but I think the opportunity to win in Dallas is going to trump getting $11 million, 11.5.
Okay, so here my answer, guys. And I will tell you that now I'm going to cheat. I can cheat. It's my show. So I'm going to cheat, Jim.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I can't cheat. I mean, I could cheat. I could text everybody I know and be like, hey, what's the deal?
Here my answer, guys. I would say absolutely, because what happening is Robinson is going to get enough for a sheet next season.
Ooh.
and Dallas are going to be limited to max out that. I believe Robinson can get $12 to $12.5 million next year. And I'm not sure if Dallas can afford to go there. I check around, they will be very tight to get over 11 million. You're right. The way you explained to me, you're absolutely right. It makes sense, and you're right. But I'm worried that the Dallas Stars get an offer sheet for Robinson from other team, and a team have a lot, like Chicago guys have money. Now, is it possible Robinson don't want to go there? So we don't know that. But if he get a little bit, they're going to try to squeeze Dallas. If that Robinson get more money was expect, if Dallas offer him only $10 million, guys, and he get another team get 12.5 and everything, I don't know if he can go there. Now he's going to make, come on, coach. I know you like Jason Robinson, but still, look about guy. He's right now on the pace to score 50 goals, almost 100 points. He's right now on fire this year. He have 80 points the last 2 seasons. He have usually over 35 goals per season. Last year I think he have 29, but he's still a guy like 3 years ago. He get 100 points and 44 goals. So I don't know what will be the outcome if season, but he could be squeezed the Dallas Star. I'm not sure if you see that.
No, I mean, it's a great point because he's eligible for offer sheet. He's eligible for arbitration too, right? But again, if Chicago offers him 12 at 8 or 7 or whatever, do they want to give up the first round picks to do it?
You know, if you gave Robinson 12, you have to give Bell 12. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. So I don't know if a team's willing to go that high. Again, I think as much as I hate this, because I don't really think it's a factor. I think if he stays in Dallas, he has a better chance to win than go anyplace else right now, because I think that the guys he plays with is making him better. I'm not sure if Robertson can carry a line by himself. Because I think he's playing with Johnston and Rantanen right now. Yeah, I'm gonna just I think I could definitely see an offer sheet, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be Chicago, and how much is the offer sheet? Like, is it because you're gonna have to offer sheet him where he doesn't go UFA in a couple of years?
Watch the New York Rangers.
They probably would do it.
They have money because Panarin is leaving.
Well, if they're gonna offer sheet Robertson, then Panarin's not coming back.
No, definitely. I'll be shocked if Panarin return there. At least his wife wants to stay there. But I think it will be interesting about that. 2-0 San Jose, a power play goal on that one. It'll be very interesting about this. It was Regent. You're right about this and not that. Chicago offered 12%, only needing offer $1 million to make some money. Why leave Condor for a team that's not close to the cup? And 26 is because I think Dallas is going to go under $10 million. But still, you're right. Why he would go there? But you play with, on the first line, play with Connor Bedard, and you get, opportunity right there. And Chicago in the 3 years may be there, but we'll see. Again, we just discussed, we assume would be interesting what happened for next one. Finally, the last one, 4 teams from Canada and the playoff.
Well, there's only one right now.
Yep.
I think it's Ottawa's actually in. If the playoffs started today, I think Ottawa's... Or no, Montreal's in, right? Yeah, Montreal's in, right?
Yep.
Am I right on the stand?
Yep.
I'm right on the standings. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So if Toronto could turn it around, they can definitely get in. Again, the East is so jam packed. One win, you're within striking distance of Philadelphia.
You have to go to Pacific to give you the best answer.
Right. I mean, again, Does Edmonton get in? They're tied with Chicago right now. But because of tiebreakers and games played and all that stuff, they're out. Does Vancouver get in? Calgary's probably not getting in. So Edmonton's got to get in. Can Winnipeg survive? Got to figure out a way to get back into playoff contention. So that's 2 if they both do it and Toronto or Ottawa get in.
For me, a gym is not allowed because the way
it's not at all. The more I look at it, it's not at all because I think Toronto's falling back. They got to show me they can make a push.
So what happening, Jim? They're going to fight each other. Okay, we are all agreeing now. Vancouver and Calgary are out. That's 2.
Yeah, that's
right?
2.
So now you have 5 to go, and then you have Edmonton on the Pacific. But Edmonton is going to fight right now to stay and the wild card, and the Winnipeg Jet are going to be a wild card. So you're going to fight each other, in my opinion. That will be 3 right there. And then you're already Montreal right there. So at the end of the day, Toronto, Ottawa is going to fight also for 1 spot, and maybe Montreal will be out. So for me, it will be very hard to get there. Maybe the number is 4, but I targeted more 3. And now Mammoth and Sir scored a goal. Cruz, a great play by Speedorama. I don't know who did a Speedorama, but 2-1 right now for the San Jose.
I say not at all, too. I just don't see it this year. If Toronto is in a playoff spot right now at Montreal, I'd say yes. But they're not.
I'm sorry about that. Will be interesting what's happening there for sure for the Montreal Canadiens and the rest of the team in Canada for that. Jim, we go through together, my friend. It was always fun to work with you. It's glad to see you around and glad you're looking great. Glad you're still working with all that. And I know you're going to be busy after that because you're going to talk about New Jersey. You continue to do that. The best way, guys, to follow him, it's easy. Same name on the Twitter for that. To talk to him. He's always available for many people, guys. He continues to deliver. And empty net right now for the Anaheim is Chris Crater scored a goal and empty net. And that's it for the St. Louis Blues tonight. That said, Jim, what's next for you until Christmas? What is the plan for you?
Well, the plan for me is to be in Newark on Wednesday when the Devils take on the Dallas. Those Dallas Stars will be in town. Vegas comes in as well. High school hockey is starting in the state of New Jersey. I am a certified official in high school hockey, so my duty calls for that. My duty calls for that on the weekends. So I'm busy with that, writing, podcasting, working hard. I love what I do. I wouldn't trade a day for it. I love being here, and that's pretty much what's next. Just got some things lined up and just keeping at the grind, really. Just really staying at the grind and trying not to get sick.
Awesome. Jim, I look forward to see you next time, my friend. I wish you an amazing, great weeks, and stay in touch with us, and I'll hopefully see you before Christmas. This month.
That's absolutely. Yes, let's make that happen.
Because, Jim, we would like to get more like the next thing I think we would like to get you in is about the World Junior Championship. It's coming at the end of the month, so I would like to pick it up during the holidays, a couple of days before. I think it would be a good moment to get there, everything. So, of course,
I love that tournament. I love watching that tournament. It's my favorite international tournament to watch.
That's a good thing to watch them, everything. So, look, Jim, we'll let you go. We want to thank you, my friend. A lot of people ask it is fun because people ask you questions. When you come here, people are in with that. You get about 20 questions tonight, so it make the show easier. I did not have I could talk for another extra hour with the NHL we have to learn, but great to work with you. We wish you an amazing, great rest of your night and the week. And we stay in touch, of course, by Twitter or by text me. Anything you need from me, I'm always available for you, my friend.
Absolutely. Always here for you guys as well. Keep the questions coming when I'm in. Like I said, Coach said it. You follow me on Twitter, same name. Drop a follow, drop a comment. leave me a question. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Sign up, Substack's up there as well. Check that out. Some great articles have dropped. And yeah, check it out.
Awesome, Jim. I'll see you next time, my friend. Have an amazing, great night. Thanks to work with you tonight. I appreciate a lot, buddy.
Peace.
All right. Jim Beringer, guy from New Jersey, the insider of the Hockey Nation about the NHL. We don't talk a lot about NHL. It's not because we don't want to. We focus on the Montreal Canadiens, but at least the Monday night, we talk more about the NHL. Jim was a great asset to sharing with us what's going on around the league, and I can't wait to see him next time to join the Hockey Nation. It was great to have a moderator run in our top in the chat. We have a great goal by Tony tonight, and we are back tomorrow night for the play-by-play. And Tony scored another goal, guys. Second goal of the game. Tony did it at the Hockey Nation Live show. So we have to go back right here at the hockey to score the second goal of the night, guys.
Oh my God!
Thank you, Tony. It's not the number of the people in the chat. It's about the quality of the people. Support the channel every second night just by clicking on the likes or support by your member of the hockey or the Patreon and of course to be a part of the show every night talking about your favorite team, the Blue Blanc Rouge, the Tricolor, or anything else. You guys, you'd be great in the chat. I like when you ask, you active and you action between all the people. A lot of people pop up here and we are missing. And we said, welcome everybody. Well, I apologize, but P.S. Welcome back from the hockey ball, the RG Gabro. Great job tonight, Mark. Thanks so much. Guy and Suwan and 26. And 26, we have some. This is a great thing, N26. This is a great example. We are not agree a lot the time, me and N26, not because we hate each other. We just see things differently, but we do it with respect. That's the most important thing, and that's what the reason I believe the channel is get better and better, and that's the reason the people are back here. Like I said, when we talk about the quality people, is Luciano. We're still concerned about in our tap, but that's another subject for another time. That's Luciano told me to tell you that, so it's me. It's not me. I follow Luciano about that. Good night, everybody. Thanks so much. And the reason we get there is because you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Be well, BL. Find a way not only to dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the second half of what? 2025. The Hockey Nation, the Hat Nation, and all the animals. We have the chicken. We have now the ducks. And the kingdom of animal of the Thailand. Want to tell you one more thing. So we love you, friends. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow night, 8:30. Montreal, Ottawa. Rivalry, the rivalry. Good night, everyone. Booyah! Cash!